May the 4th be with you if you're watching this on May 4th. Otherwise, welcome. I made the unfortunate choice to watch the Star Wars Holiday Special, so now I'm going to tell you about it. So that's not a complete waste of my time, but I think I have some really cool makeup this time, so, meh? Huh? Give it a chance. Alright, so I'm gonna go get rid of my eyebrows and put up my hair, and I'll see you in a movie magic second. Alright, so I watched the Star Wars Holiday Special. What is this? This is Bobbi Brown face primer stuff that I'm putting down. And the makeup's gonna be very different today, so bear with me. I'm sure at the time it seemed like a great idea. Because, you know, holiday specials were doing well, variety shows were doing pretty well around the time, 1978 when this came out, and, they stocked this Star Wars special with all your favorite Star Wars adjacent celebrities, including B. Arthur, Art Carney, Diane Carroll, the Jefferson Starship, and, of course, Harvey Korman. Where do I even begin? Alright, let's start with, I'm using this fuchsia pink with this NYX FX cream color. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna say some things that I think go without saying at this point about this thing, but, you know, for the sake of completeness, let's just go through it. So this was only ever aired once, because it did so badly and got such poor reviews, critically and otherwise. The only copies you can find are technically illegal. I think I watched this, like, on YouTube. But Lucasfilm has gotten a lot less litigious about that specific property, in the past few years, at least trying to, like, take it off the internet. So the whole premise of this is that it's Life Day or whatever, which is, I guess, supposed to be, like, Wookiee Christmas or something. And what's his face? Han Solo needs to get Chewie back to his home planet in time for the celebrations, because despite his debt, and then this is when we learn that apparently Chewbacca has a wife, a child, and a father that are all just, like, sitting at home for him this whole time, and it really sort of begs the question about this, like, life debt that he owes to Han, and why he's following him around the universe, and it's like, shouldn't you just be taking home and taking care of your family? But whatever. Anywho, so we open up on the familiar Star Destroyer. Han and Chewie are engaged in, like, sort of like a back and forth chase with the Empire. Okay, so let's go through the family. So he has a wife, Mala, a dad, Itchy, and a son, Lumpy. Now apparently they have longer Wookiee names, but these are, I guess, what they go by, because they're too hard for everyone else to pronounce, even though we're on the Wookiee planet right now. Speaking of which, all of these characters only speak in whatever the Wookiee language is, and there are no English subtitles. So there are entire, like, 10-minute segments of this thing where it's just people in fursuits making noises at each other. Now, you can kind of get the gist of what's sort of going on, but it's very strange, and seems like a very strange choice to have made. Yeah, so the all Wookiee segments are just painful to watch. Oh yeah, apparently this entire thing is sponsored by GM, so if you're looking for a corporate sponsor to blame, there you go. Oh, so I'm not gonna go too much into the whole history around it, because that's a whole freaking hour on its own, and I've included a link in the description to a lovely little special by Yesterworld that talks about sort of a lot of the sort of interesting history behind it. We'll get into a little bit of that, but I feel like that's sort of everywhere, and well done by others. I'm just going to talk about the actual special. Okay, yeah, there's just like a lot of weird scenes that don't make sense. So during one of the early all Wookiee scenes, we see like his child like walking on the ledge unsupervised, and he's looking down. He's like, "Oh, I could fall to my death," and just keeps going, and it's very made me very uncomfortable. Apparently, Mala misses Chewbacca, and we know this because she keeps picking up a picture of Chewbacca. It's like on a table or something. Goes, oh god, yeah. Oh, I forgot about the fucking circus. Okay, so there's a scene amongst all this. They're like just hanging out at the Wookiee house where Lumpy and Itchy, his father and his son, they are playing on like some sort of table or something, and the little kid watches like essentially a very tiny circus performance. It's like all these people were clearly filmed in their studio, and it's like it's being projected on a table, but it's very tiny, and it sort of loses all the majesty of any circus performing would have because they are just so tiny now. I don't know. It is like one of the most painful scenes I've seen in a film with circus in it. Because like even that, because it's just like also just like jugglers, and it's like a couple. It's like somebody does a cartwheel, and it's kind of it. So there's this entirely way too long circus performance that seems completely out of place. Doesn't seem to have anything to do with Star Wars or these people or anything really. So I'm gonna move on from that. There's this really creepy, like, electronic circus music that plays with it. And it's just like, it's not a scene, man. And this all Wookiee, no English scene continues to go on, and then finally, freaking somebody else at least sort of shows up, Mala, the wife, mom, whatever, calls up Luke Skywalker, of all people, to try to check on, like, I guess Han and Chewie. Of course, finds out no news, but at least fucking we get to hear somebody talking English. So that part was really great. Or at least a known human language, right? Very helpful. Okay. Luke basically reassures them that he hasn't missed a life day, he's not gonna miss this one. Which I feel like, isn't it more important that he's safe than, like how important, like, what is this? Is, like, someone getting sacrificed? Or, like, I don't know. It's like the customs are never really explained, life days never explained. We're given no real explanations for anything. And this sort of continues as things progressively get weirder. Oh no, I gotta itch my nose. Mother. Gonna fight it. Okay. Oh, so then Mala switches to what appears to be like a different TV station. But I guess it's actually just like, a digital window or something into the local general store. And she asks about a shipment, and like they're so obviously talking about Han and Chewie. If the Imperial Guards weren't such idiots, they would have gotten themselves in severe trouble with all of this. So stupid. Oh, and then we're treated to another, like, freaking super long segment of, it's basically Mala trying to follow a cooking show, and the person cooking is speaking like English. That's not really my complaint about it. It's more of just like, I don't get it. Like, it's not even funny if it's supposed to be comic relief. It failed on everything that it could be. So yeah, this cooking show segment with, I think it's like Art Carney, who's playing the chef, goes on just entirely too long and serves no purpose, like most of the segments in this special. After this, we sort of cut to, like, the only storyline we have, and we see Chewie and Han still caught amongst Imperial, like, dogfighting or whatever. We see another image of Mala picking up a picture of Chewie, which lets us know that she is missing him. And then there's like an announcement over the TV that the Imperial whatever has declared martial law on the Wookiee planet. And so now Han and Chewie can't possibly get in. And it's all very... Well, it's supposed to be dramatic, but at this point I'm so bored and tired. And we're barely halfway in, so... Yeah. Alright, now we're going to try to go with some contour and highlight. Ooh, I look like a grape. Cool. Oh yeah, so then the convenience store guy comes and brings their items. He has gifts for everyone in the family. We're gonna use some of this like cream white paint. And so I for a while struggled to figure out what he had given Lumpy, the small one. Apparently it's some sort of like transmitter or transistor, which ends up coming in handy later. I thought it was like a keyboard or something. I had no idea. They're all just speaking in Wookiee, so I don't know what the fuck is anyone saying. Okay, and then he gives the elderly Lumpy the creepiest Life Day present at all. I don't know if like pornography is traditional as part of the holiday, but it certainly didn't seem like it. Yeah, I'm gonna go into some of the dark purple. Ugh, so this is by far one of the creepiest segments of this entire special. Unfortunately, the lovely Diane Carroll is involved in this disgusting mess. But, what was it? The convenience store guy is basically like, you're gonna like this one. And it's basically Diane Carroll repeating over and over, like, hi, how are you? I think you're adorable. To which Lumpy, like, rewinds and repeats several times, which is, like, is clearly, like, a weird video thing. Yeah, she keeps going. She's interactive. She responds to what she says. I am invented by your creation. It's all in this, like, very, like, seductive voice. Yeah, it's giving me real creepy vibes to, like, have this, like, 8-minute segment where we essentially watch a Wookiee grandfather get off. Not a cute look. Oh yeah, she goes on with all this stuff, like, I only exist for you, just like, experience me, enjoy me, like, super creepy. I'd like to not describe any of that anymore if I can. It's super weird. Oh, and then she sings a song, which, I suppose it's better than watching a man in a giant fursuit try to masturbate. So after Diane Carroll's done singing, Mala then decides to call Leia and C-3PO, her hanging out at some unknown destination for unknown reasons, doing unknown jobs. They're saying that they might have gotten through the Imperial blockade, and it's all these good news, and then all of a sudden, Imperial officers break in, and they're like, we need to search the place, because, you know, he was associated with people in the Rebel Alliance and all this sort of whatever. It's the closest we're gonna get to plot in this whole thing. Which I have a lot of questions about, like, what are Fourth Amendment search and seizure rights in this universe, but that's a topic for another time. Oh yeah, and then while they're searching, we see, like, Lumpy opens a music box. Maybe it's the music box Mala got for Christmas from the store dude. But, they open it inside, and inside there's a little band, and it's the Jefferson Starship. It's just a very strange placement. And the song doesn't seem to make any sense with anything else that's going on. It's just all very bizarre. Like, all their instruments are, like, lit up like lasers or something, I guess. It's fine. It seems to have absolutely nothing to do with Star Wars, so. But whatever, man. I think at this point we're used to that on this ride. Okay, so then the next segment is arguably one of the least weird. However, in the context of the story, it's very bizarre. Allow me to elaborate. So this animated film is notable in that it is the first actual, like, canon appearance of Boba Fett. I think this was supposed to be their way to introduce the character, and then they were going to kind of expand from it. Obviously, that didn't happen, at least from the special. But what's especially weird is, so, like, Lumpy is watching this cartoon, right? Like, it's set in the universe, like, it's a cartoon that came on, that he's just watching. Here's the problem. He knows all those people in the cartoon. So, like, is this cartoon, like, a fictional depiction of stuff that's happening? Is he, like, watching an alternate universe where people he know are actually cartoons? It brings a lot of questions that I don't think they really meant to bring up. Let's powder. So for this I'm just using regular, like, I think the Ben 9 neutral set, because there's just like a lot of colors going on here. Yeah, so this cartoon brings up a whole host of existential questions that I don't think anybody's really prepared to answer at this point. I tried to write down what the cartoon was about. It's very convoluted. Han and Chewie are also on a mission, but, like, they're looking for an invisible talisman. Whatever. It essentially sets him up as, like, he's, like, an untrustworthy bounty agent who plays by his own rules. That's all you really need to know. The cartoon goes on for a while. I have a lot of confusing notes written that I can only decipher half of them. Because at some point I just got very upset. We go back, apparently the stormtroopers come in, he switches the channels, because I guess he's not supposed to be watching cartoons or something. And then, like, you know, the stormtroopers trashed his room and told him they were like, clean it up. It was very shitty. Typical federal agents. And then after this, they move to a different part of the house. And then we watch most of it, of the instructional video that came with Lumpy's transistor computer piano thing. And it's just a dude telling you how to set it up. It's not entertaining or helpful. You don't need to know any of this. There's no reason except trying to kill time to fill this. And then we get like footage of another Imperial broadcast while we're, like, looking at the screen. But then they do this, like, edit cutaway where we're watching the footage of the Imperial decree and the Mos Eisley Cantina, hive of scum and villainy, if you do so recall. I must look insane right now. I look like that dude from the movie Powder. Y'all remember that movie? I should talk about that movie here. That movie's weird. I watched that movie as a child. I don't think children should have watched that movie. My mom made some choices. Anyway. Hot. Okay, yeah, so we're at the Mos Eisley Cantina, who is, which is being run by living Star Wars legend, B. Arthur. Now, for those of you who are like me, and big fans of B. Arthur, and know her from things like The Golden Girls, it's very strange why she's here. And not only is she here, but then she sings 2 songs, which is, like, fine. She has the ability to sing. She's a good singer, but it's just so strange. Like, why are we here, man? Why are we here? Some guy keeps trying to hit on her. There's, like, no storyline. There's no reason to be here. And then apparently one of the announcements that was on was that there's a curfew in effect. And so stormtroopers start coming in and they have to, like, shut down the cantina, and this is when she sings her second song. Something about, like, goodbye or something. It means this, like, kimchi cheek grape jelly eyeshadow, trying to fill in the contours a little more. So then they, like, shut down the bar. The stormtroopers get, like, a message to, like, return to base or something. We go back to the Wookiee house and we hear a similar message coming through, like, for all personnel to return to base. But it turns out that, like, what's his face? Lumpy is controlling it through his toy. Doo-doo-doo! Big plot twist, I guess. Oh, and then we cut to another where Han and Chewie are still running. And then Chewbacca goes on a long tangent where he's talking to Han, which is really annoying because Han, even though Han understands him, I got a vague understand. I guess I got a gist of what he said, but dude, like, subtitles under the Wookiees. I don't know why that wasn't a consideration. Alright, so this is the Meatball Hip Dot Diva palette. Diamond Diva. I'm gonna try to go for the Whip Crack .mp3. See if it shows up in my eye. Okay, and I guess through this, they managed to trick the entire Imperial fleet. Which I guess is bully for them. But that seems highly not likely. But whatever, man. I'm tired of fighting this thing on logic. I think we're all tired of fighting this movie special, whatever, on logic. Okay, so then we get to the end of this thing. I guess the conflict has been resolved, and now we get to see Life Day celebrations, which seem very weird and strange, and seem to have... I don't know what to do with anything. Alright, so what we're gonna do is just put on a little glitter, because alright, so the glitter I'm using is just the wig snatch from the meatball palette. Alright, let's finish this shit show. Alright, so it's the Life Day celebration. They're all holding like snow globe candle things, walking up to the sky perhaps. It's very unclear by the way that it is staged and performed. You know, it is the end of this special and I'm still left with the questions. What is Life Day? What are its customs? What is its meaning? Fuck all if I know. Oh yeah, so like all of the Wookiees are wearing these like red robes and walking up into some kind of light. It appears to me some sort of death ceremony, but apparently that's not the case. Or I don't know, maybe it is. It's never exactly told to us. Anyway, apparently R2-D2 and C-3PO are there for some reasons. For reasons unknown to me. And like Luke and Han and Leia are also there for some reason. Again, never really made clear why. I guess they had nothing better to do, and the Imperial blockade was easily fooled by a child's plaything, like the entire fucking army. So they just like pieced out. Now everyone's like, oh, it's cool to come. I don't. None of this makes any sense. Oh, and then at the end, Leia sings a song, which is fine. It's great. It's wonderful. But like, allegedly, the only reason she signed up for this was because they promised her she could sing a song at the end. So, I don't know. So yeah, I guess she's singing the Life Day song or whatever, which apparently is a well-known song, though we're just learning, I guess. This whole thing is fucked, y'all. This whole thing is real fucked. It's not even, like, fun to watch, like, bad. Like, I love some bad movies. Big fan of some horrible movies. But this isn't even so bad to be enjoyable. It's, like, painful. Like, there were multiple times while I was watching this where I have ADD, and I literally had to rewind, like, 3 or 4, and I've been able to watch other movies just fine, not without this problem. I had to rewind 3 or 4 times because I just realized I was, like, looking at a book on my bookshelf or checking the time on my phone for an extraordinary long amount of time, and had become distracted from the movie from the special or whatever, because it was so terrible. It's so long, and it's so hard to watch. I do not recommend watching this, y'all. Like, not even as a joke. I regret choosing this as a movie for this. Highly. It felt like it only took 2 hours to watch, 2.5, because I kept rewinding. But, like, it felt like it took so much more, like, soul value away from me. Okay, yeah, and then, so, at the end, there's, like, the end of the Star Wars, so I guess it's Episode 4, A New Hope. Music and everything, and it sounds very hopeful, but, like, doesn't this take place, like, between movies or something? Anyway, so there's, like, a big fan out, everyone's holding hands. Alright. So let's get into, like, a little bit of the afternotes that I have. I mean, I feel like most of it's already pretty known about how, like, George Lucas was, like, essentially did not have any sort of handle or anything on this, and made a lot of choices that at the time seemed like good choices, but in retrospect were not. Also, there is, and I have absolutely no data or anything to back this up, so I want to make this very clear. This is just speculation. speculation that he was like doing a lot of coke and partying and stuff at the time. Wasn't really paying attention to shit, which would really explain what happened here. It's like what's his face when Stephen King with like that fucking Lawnmower Man movie. That script got out of control. Did he even write some of that? Oh, we should talk about that sometime. That's a whole other very interesting story. The cast talks about it with like a lot of sort of like disdain and stuff, whatever. One thing I do that is very important to me about this special that I think gets overlooked a lot, and I think partially it's because there was like major failures in the budget to really accomplish what he could have, but all of the costumes were designed by Bob Mackie. Now, if you don't know who that is, I'm gonna give you a second to like Google that or look that up, because he is a very important like American fashion designer, and we don't have a lot of them because we're like a new country. But like he is iconic. Like everything that Cher wore that you were like, whoa, that's an outfit, Bob Mackie made. Oh god, like everything from the Mary Tyler Moore Show. He's just like so many like in so many different decades of iconic fashion. Just like an amazingly talented person. But anyway, what was I talking about? I was fangirling about Bob Mackie. Oh yeah, the fucking Star Wars holiday special. So apparently he did the costumes for this, which is probably the only reason it doesn't look as cheap as it should, even though apparently the budget was $100 million. But I'm guessing that included like, you know, salaries for like actors and like all the fucking like, so all the guest stars that I named at the beginning may not sound like high level to you, but at the time, and so I think it's just important to note that like the talent alone probably cost this a fortune. Bob Mackie doesn't work for cheap, and in the 80s he was already had like a name and was pretty famous for all the stuff he did in like the 60s and the 70s and before that. One funny fact I do want to mention that so I remember how I was annoyed by their like weird Life Day red cloaks. Apparently they were wearing those red cloaks because they ran out of budget for Wookiee costumes. And it was just cheaper that way. So they just got like a bunch of like heads and like, I don't even know if they got hands for them or whatever, but ugh, what a mess, right? Okay, so yeah, apparently, so the original script, I think it's like Kashyyyk is the name of the Wookiee planet. But apparently in the original script, Lumpy gets kidnapped and I don't know, gets trapped somewhere, and it just like, it seemed like way more exciting than what they ended up with. Which honestly, let's be frank, is pretty sad and depressing. Even when you go back through a lens of like, oh, I'm gonna watch this and this is gonna be bad and funny, like I thought I was gonna do with this and frankly Reek for Madness and frankly Cats, I gotta stop picking movies and specials I think I know are gonna be bad. Because I'm just doing this to myself at this point, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Okay, maybe there's some blame to go around, but fool me 3 times. No, sir. No, sir. We are all done bad movies. Meatball palette. Ah! This is the color Crop Duster. Hot. Oh yeah, and so the original idea for this special and why it was created was because they thought it was going to be like the Charlie Brown special, and like that it would be aired like, you know, every holiday, and they'd get like, you know, pretty steady revenue and stuff from that. Surprise, surprise! That's not what happened. When you don't actually give a shit about what you're making, sometimes it won't turn out well. Who would have known? Alright, I mean, so those are all the real notes I have about this. I mean, I'll come back with my full review later. Later. And Movie Magic, it'll be in a few seconds, but, I mean, I think you know what it's gonna be. I don't know, I made some choices with the glitter in the eyes. I'm gonna pop on some lashes. Oh, and I'm gonna put on some lips. So I'm gonna do it like one of those fast forward things again. But before I do, I'm using, was it Nyx Matte Lip Liner? What color is this? Amethyst, it's like a purple. And then this is Urban Decay Pandemonium Mega Matte. It's like a fun purple color that I'm going to do for the lips to try to make it stand out. I'm kind of regretting the glitter. But, you know, we all got to make choices and move forward, y'all. So I'll see you guys on the flip side. Do you like? Yeah. Tried to go for some sort of like Twi'lek alien look. But these, I don't know what you call them, but they're quite heavy. I'm gonna give the Star Wars Holiday Special like 0 out of, I don't know, I can't even think of anything. I'm gonna go stars. Boom, stars. 0 stars. Don't watch this. It's terrible. It has no redeeming value. It's not even funny to watch in a bad sense. I hope this makeup made up for it. I'm kind of into it. Hope you have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is you're doing. I'll catch you on the next episode of Cinema Club. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.